Welcome to the Your Oxygen Mask First podcast. I'm Erin Young, and this is a space where we explore ways to help the helpers. Because you can't help anyone before you help yourself. So sit back, put your own oxygen mask on, and enjoy the ride. Thank you so much for joining us, and I am so very excited to be joined today by the one and only Officer Ashley Smith. Hi, Ashley!
Hi!
She is a police officer, a fitness powerhouse, so not only does she help people on the beat, but she also helps people get healthy as well. So today we're going to be chatting about what it's like to be a police officer in a male-dominated profession and how she uses fitness to make connections with people all over the world. Thanks again for joining us, Ashley. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I also appreciate it.
So let's dive in and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to get into law enforcement.
My name is Ashley Smith. I am from upstate New York. I'm from a small town, and I decided to get into law enforcement because, long story short, I did an internship with a law firm, and I did an internship with a police department. The law firm, which my mother worked at, boring. It was just not for me. I couldn't do that. I actually did a mini internship in there with a judge. That was a blast. And I was like, can I just be a judge? And they were like, yeah, no, you have to be a lawyer first and then be a judge. I'm like, okay, well then this isn't going to be for me. So then I did the internship with the police department and I had a blast. I've been an adrenaline junkie since I was little. I grew up with all boys in my neighborhood. So I was used to hanging out with them, the rough and tough and just doing stupid things, jumping off playgrounds and all that stuff. So the adrenaline dump that I got from doing the internship with the police department is exactly what I needed, what I wanted. And so I took the test that year. And at 20 years old, I had just graduated college. And 2 days later, I was put in the police academy. And I've been a police officer since. It's been 10 and a half years.
Wow, that's awesome. So what kind of challenges do you face as a police officer? I know the political climate and all of the crazy things that are happening in the world makes it difficult. But also as a female police officer, what have you had to deal with?
So as a female police officer, my career did not start off very well. I had a police chief that was hired around the same time I was that did not like females. So there were 3 females total that were hired with me. And he spent his entire first year picking one of us off one at a time. He fired all 3 of the other girls, got to me. And by that time, I was off probation. So here in New York, you have 1 year and you're off probation. You're considered a permanent employee per civil service. So by the time he got to me, there's nothing that he could do because I was doing nothing wrong. Before that, you can literally be fired if you look at somebody wrong. Mm-hmm. So he got to me, and because he realized he couldn't fire me because I wasn't doing anything wrong, he decided to take my patrol car away from me, put me on bike patrol. I was put on bike patrol for 10 out of 12 months. And if you know New York, you're basically winter for, 8 of those 12 months. So I was literally on a bicycle all year round. I had to direct traffic in the wintertime. I was assigned stupid details, property checks. It was just ridiculous. So the beginning of my career was not the best. And honestly, if it wasn't for my current department that decided to take me in after they heard what happened, I don't think I would even be in law enforcement because I got to about year 5 of this. And that's when I started putting in my lateral transfer paperwork and was just getting denied because my current chief would just completely blackball me from other agencies. So I spent my entire first 5 years of my career thinking, this is not for me. This is not what I signed up to do. This is, my counterparts are all males and I get along with them all great, but I'm not doing the same things as them. And I'm getting treated like crap to the point where I was told by my chief that women are meant to be seen, not heard. And he didn't even want to see me.
Oh, hell no.
So I spent my first 5 years questioning if this was the actual right career for me. And if it was not for my current department, hearing how mistreated I was and taking me in, I don't know if I would be a police officer today. My chief of police is the most amazing man. I consider him basically like a second father. He's just awesome. And he's given me a chance. And even to this day, he tells, people that I'm one of his best hires. So it's just, I tell women all the time that ask me for advice, make sure that you do your research on your police departments, do some ride-alongs with multiple different agencies. If you see a department that doesn't have a lot of females, second guess doing it. If you see a department that has a ton of females, then that means that, administration completely supports their people. And that's basically the advice I give, young women that ask me about it. But I am currently the only female at my department right now. And it's awesome. Like I feel really cool because I'm the only female in the history of my department. And hopefully, if I can score really well on the sergeant's exam and get promoted within the next couple of years, I would be the first female sergeant in my area. So I feel like I'm kind of like breaking that glass ceiling and making huge steps in the right direction, because New York is still so behind the treatment of female police officers. They're still so far behind.
Well, and that's surprising because me being on the West Coast, look at the East Coast as being somewhat more progressive in certain ways. But it sounds like they're kind of still stuck in the dark ages.
They are. I mean, there's still some professions. One of my really great friends works for a bank, and there's still some positions and professions and businesses that still have females making less than males in the same exact position.
The good old boys club, huh?
Correct.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I think maybe the universe was telling you that this was your path so that you can make it easier for other people and really kind of shine.
I would agree. I would say that I regret nothing. I'm glad for everything that has happened to me because it's led me to be the person that I am today. It's led me to sit here with you and talk to you about things. It's made me more outgoing, made me strive, work harder and appreciate what I have because of what I came from. And if anything from this, World News did an article about me, about this whole incident. And if anything has come from it, I'm able to sit here and talk to other females that have either gone through the same thing or females that are entering the workforce that ask me questions about being a female in law enforcement. And I'm able to tell them both the great side of it, the negative side of it, and everything in between.
And I'm glad that you're able to be so open and honest and authentic, that you're not threatened or deterred by your past experiences or that department itself trying to paint you in a negative light, that you're able to just lay it out, because people need to understand law enforcement's dangerous and it's a hard ass job. But to put the other pressures on it and the stress of not being appreciated and actually being led to fail, no.
And that's the best part about it is I could have given up, but I didn't. I kept pushing forward, and I was basically like, I'm not going to this is my dream. I'm not going to let this situation, make me quit or keep me down. I'm going to keep pushing forward. And yeah, I'm going to be that female voice for somebody else that doesn't have one right now.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think is the best part about being in law enforcement?
100% is dealing with multiple people every single day. I love the community aspect of it. And I know that's a cliche answer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I got into law enforcement because I wanted to help people. No, I got into law enforcement because I love the adrenaline dump. But the bonus of it is I'm a very social person. I like to talk. I like to meet new people. And that's exactly what this job is all about. And also, something new every single day happens. You encounter new people every single day. So it's not like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I'm going to go to my job and do the same thing day in and day out. No, I literally go to work every single day at the same time, but I deal with different things every day.
Mm-hmm. Now, you post some awesome pictures and videos on your personal social media accounts. And was it hard for you to get the support of your department since you're in uniform in some of them? And listeners, be advised that this chick, she's kind of smoking hot. So you'll see her pictures. She has an amazing physique, a very friendly, beautiful face. She's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I will tell you that the old school mentality that some of the guys have is they do not support my page and they do not support some of the things I post. I will tell you the new regime of people my age and even younger, they support it because they post stuff like that as well. Now, yes, I do post a lot of funny videos. That is my favorite part about my page, is doing funny videos and collabs with other police officers or military or anything like that. And of course, I do post some risky photos and videos. But again, that's my freedom of expression. And Most people don't know this, but if they pay attention very closely, the uniform that I wear most of the time is actually a uniform that I've had created for me. It has patches, collar brass, and a badge that I've literally had created for me that's patented and trademarked. And that's what I wear for 99.9% of my videos and my pictures. And that's because I didn't want anyone to know where I worked. I didn't want to get my department involved. I didn't want to violate any policies and procedures. And it gives me the ability to post a lot more content that I wouldn't be able to do while I was on duty. I can say more risky things. I can do more risky things. I can speak my mind more, and I'm not on department time. I'm not in department uniform, and I'm not violating policy and procedure because I might be the reason why we have a social media policy now.
No.
Whoops.
That is
You didn't
genius.
have one before me.
That is genius, actually. I didn't even realize that that was your own uniform.
Yep. And most of the people don't. That's why, like, when people say, that's super unprofessional. Why do you post in uniform? I can't believe you do that. And I fire back as quick as possible and as professional and polite as possible and say, hey, look at the patches. What police department says police, faith, and humanity? Nobody. So yeah, this is my uniform. These are my patches. It's done on my personal time, in my personal vehicle, in my personal uniform.
That's awesome. And I think that it is beneficial. You'll have the naysayers and the liability people running around with their alarms going off. But I find that definitely with people who are younger coming into first responder, law enforcement, dispatch professions, that they're very proud of the jobs that they do. And they want to showcase how proud they are of what they do and what they do. And when you are not allowed to really share it, it creates a lower morale, and you're not as invested into your job because we're of a different type of generation that is invested in technology, and to make those connections with other people through technology and to be able to showcase what we do is pretty important.
I couldn't agree more. And basically, I think as the older school regime starts to phase out, you'll get people that are in charge that are a little bit more lenient, a little bit more understanding. What people need to understand, especially bosses, is social media is not going to go anywhere. So you can either make it your enemy or you can actually use it to your advantage. If that means showcasing your police officers in a much better light by having them be more human, taking more pictures of them, posting up them, doing other things, grabbing a coffee, being with the community, doing something silly, those people remember that. Like, the public remembers that. And if they see it constantly, they're going to have you in the eye as being a positive agency, as a positive police officer. But if you hide from that light, you're going to be viewed as hiding stuff. It's going to be, not as friendly. I can't tell you how many times I'm in public and people will be like, oh my God, you're officers, just when I follow you. And I had no idea that people follow me locally. I had no idea. I had no idea, I was that big. I get it. I have 110,000 followers, but I still view myself as a little small town girl in this big old world. So, I mean, I can de-escalate a situation, and I have in the past, going to calls and people know me and follow me and they're like, oh my God, I follow you. And then it's like an immediate human connection. They see past that uniform. The situation is completely de-escalated. And then I talk to them like human beings. I'm known for that. Like, I saw a girl and we did shop with a cop actually yesterday. And I ended up getting paired up with a mom. She was into fitness, and immediately that's how we connected, with social media, fitness. And we just had like the best time ever. And everybody had made a comment about how awesome it was that I got along with her and her child. And we just had this great time. And if that's what my social media does, is give me that connection of, being a human and being kind and laid back, then that's what I want to do. Because when I do go on calls, I tell people all the time, look past this uniform. There's a normal human being under here. I make mistakes. I do stupid stuff too. I dated jerks in the past. Let's make that connection. Let's just everybody relax and sit down and just be human beings. And that's what I love about social media.
And also, too, the connection with your fellow law enforcement officers, first responders, is some of your videos are absolutely hilarious. But it also has the reality undertone to it that what the real nature of the job is. There's a little bit of truth in, I think, everything that you say, and you kind of put it out in a more palatable light where somebody across the country in a different agency is like, oh yeah, I had to deal with that too. That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do too. I love when people send me ideas. They'll be like, hey, I went on this call and this happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been on calls like that too. Let me do a video. What I think is what people are so attracted to me, other than being decent looking, is I'm not afraid to say what everybody's thinking. And I do it in a humorous way so that I'm not disrespectful. I'm not unprofessional, even though some people can view me as that way. I do it in a way that everyone can laugh about it and be like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. You're right. We deal with that all the time. That's hilarious that she can put that out there, because I will tell you, some of these people's policies are just so strict and they're actually against the Constitution. Like over the last 6 months, I've had more people come to me to help them with their department's policies and procedures. And now that I'm as big as I am, I will say since the World News article came out last July, I have a team of lawyers. And basically it's because I needed to make sure that I was protected with, companies. I needed to make sure that I was protected against my department if they tried to do anything once they came out that social media policy. And what people have to understand is departments can't just make up all these rules without having a basis behind them. Like they can't stop you from doing, freedom of speech or posting certain things on department time and department uniform. Absolutely. They have control over that, but they don't have control over your freedom of certain things. And I've helped a lot of people get out of write-ups and suspensions from just educating them on the Constitution and the laws, and, reading their department policies and finding ways to kind of work around them, because I'm sneaky like that because I had to do it, So I just take pride in it. And I love doing the videos that I do. If anybody has any ideas, always send them my way, because I like to do new videos, and there's going to be a bunch more that are coming out. But that's what I just try to show everyone, that, again, we're all human. We all have these thoughts. We've all been to those bullcrap calls, and let's just put some humor behind it, because we all need to keep our sanity. We're out here putting our lives on the line every day. We need to do something to keep that sanity.
Mm-hmm. And laughter is kind of the best medicine, and it's a really good way to connect and improve your wellness, is to kind of take that mental break and just kind of watch something that's a little bit silly.
Yes, exactly. Something that people can talk about and laugh about and share, and get a little bit of that serious out of the way. Like, I can be serious. Absolutely. There's a time and place for everything. But if I can make somebody laugh, I'm going to make somebody laugh.
So switching to fitness, I'm assuming that your first love is law enforcement, but your second love is fitness?
Well, first love are my dogs.
Oh, okay.
Because those are my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Second is law enforcement. And yes, and then following that is definitely fitness. I got into fitness my entire life. I've been an athlete. About 2 years ago, I broke my ankle on the job. And I was an avid runner, to the point where I was doing half marathons. I wasn't lifting at the gym at all. I mean, I would run for hours every single day. Had a runner's diet, like berries and nuts and lettuce and grass and leaf clippings. And so when I broke my ankle, I was like, I don't know what to do. I've lost like who I am, basically. And I didn't know what I was going to do next to transition. And it was probably 6 months into social media, because I've only been on social media exactly 2 years. And it was about 6 months in, I went live, and one of my followers was like, oh, why don't you try bodybuilding? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I don't even know what the first thing to do. My other buddy was on live. He's like, I'll coach you. Let's do it. And I was like, okay, I got nothing else to do now at this point, and no cardio. So I jumped into it. And now I did 4 shows last fall. I got nationally qualified for NPC, and I got my pro card for OCB. Then I did my pro debut this past April, and it was the largest show I've ever done. I think there were, I want to say 15 girls. I got 6th place. And now I'm off season, and I am preparing to do a national show for NPC, which is another federation.
Wow, congratulations. That sounds like a lot of work, though. How do you find time to fit in your training with, I'm sure, your crazy work schedule?
So this is a question I get from a lot of people is how do I maintain everything that I do? And I'm going to be super blunt and probably super harsh, but you need to ask yourself what is most important to you, and then you make it a priority. I will tell you, no matter what my work schedule is, I will sacrifice sleep and sacrifice personal time to go to the gym, to meal prep, to make sure I get my meals in. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will pass up overtime if that means I'd have to skip the gym. Unless it's a Sunday, because Sundays are my off day. Then I'll work 24 hours. But you just have to ask yourself what is important in your life. What are your goals? If that's your goal, then you make it a priority. If you're having issues with I'll give you an example. If you're having issues with your stomach, what do? Well, you fix what you're eating probably. You come up with a new diet. If you are having problems at home, you go home and you work on your problems with your family. If you have a goal to save up to buy something, you work overtime to make that money to buy that item. If you want to be healthier and you want to get in shape, you need to make time for the gym. It's literally as easy as that. And people just make up, even my clients, I love my clients to death, but my goodness, I should make up a story or a post that just the excuses that people make. And it's just because it's not a priority in their life, no matter how much they want to make it one and no matter how much they say it is, it's just not.
Do you have any tips or tricks as far as maybe goal writing or anything that really helped solidify that this was a priority, this was non-negotiable, and this is what you would be doing?
For me, it was making a promise on live in front of hundreds of my followers that I was going to do a show. And then that was it, because people would check in with me and I was held accountable for it. Now, I'm not telling people to go onto social media and say, this is what I'm going to do. What I tell people, what I tell my clients is make goals that are actually attainable. Meaning, if you start off balls to the wall doing these outrageous workouts and these outrageous strict diets, you're not going to stick to it. I wouldn't stick to it. That's not healthy. That's not sustainable. That's not a lifestyle change. That's a crash workout, crash diet. So set goals that are small and ones that you're able to attain and maintain. So even if it's a small tweak in your diet and you do it for 30 to 60 days, great. Check mark that off. Did that goal complete. Now do another small tweak. And that's what I do with my clients. I don't do crash diets. I do not do crash workouts. They have very consistent, maintainable plans that they are able to stick to. And it makes them proud, because any person that can say, okay, this is my goal for this month, can check it off, that amps them up for the next month to do the next goal and check it off. And I just always tell people, this is a lifestyle change. This is not a diet.
And since you're mentioning clients, tell us a little bit about your side gig and what you're doing to help people when you're off the street.
So I call myself a realist personal trainer and lifestyle coach. So what that means is I'm not one of these coaches that I only do bodybuilders. I don't. I actually take a very, very, very small amount of show clients, because I still myself am learning how to be a show person. I'm a bodybuilder. I do more of your everyday Joe Schmo that's just looking to learn how to meal prep, learn how to eat healthy. I have clients that literally hire me just to make meal plans for them while they're traveling because they don't know what to choose. And I'll have them send me restaurants that they want to go to, and I'll literally pick their meals for them from that. I mean, I have clients all over that just whatever their goals are, that's what I'm here for. And I'm here to help them attain them so that they can get to a point where this is all just their lifestyle and it's easy and they can maintain it and they see these small goals. And that's what I do. I'm just a realist personal trainer.
So someone who's a dispatcher like me and has the dispatcher ass, it's somebody that you would take on and kind of help me improve my motivation and give me meals that I could take to work that microwave in a few seconds I can eat at the console, right?
Correct. And because you are a dispatcher, you guys don't have many breaks. And when you do, they're scheduled. But if you get hungry and you're sitting at that desk and you're go, that's going to be something that I would be like, okay, these are meals that you can have at your desk while you're dispatching. You can literally munch on while they're there. Like, that's how specific I get. like your job, your sleep schedule. Because I know even as a dispatcher, you have basically the same schedule I do.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy hours.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I get down and dirty. I get your job, your sleep schedule. And I want to know what your personal goals are, because that's how your plan is developed, is around your goals, areas that you want to work on, things that you would like to see, things that you do. It's literally that personal. That's how I get with my clients.
That's awesome. So why is it important for us in the helping professions? So dispatchers, police officers, first responders, nurses, clinicians. Why is it so important for us to maintain our fitness?
No matter what profession, whether, like you said, dispatchers or a nurse or a firefighter, corrections on the road, fitness is important because number one, you have to be there for your fellow colleagues. You have to be there for your family, your friends, everything. We already have a very high stress job mentally. You have to make sure that you have that physical in shape so that you're able to carry yourself through these crazy work hours, this overtime, working on holidays, being away from your family. Your diet, your endurance, everything is connected to your mentality. And if any of those are out of whack or poor or not going well, it's going to set the other ones out of whack as well. And I just tell people all the time, it is very, very important to be there for your family. Be thankful that you have the ability to wake up every single day, breathing, walking, talking, seeing. Use that to help you live longer and to help you be healthy. And P.S., let's take a minute to thank all the dispatchers and call takers, because you guys are our lifelines. I pride myself on constantly reaching out to those guys just to say thank you and I love you, because you guys really are our lifelines. Like, there's nothing we can do without you.
Well, thank you very much. And we definitely appreciate it. And we appreciate what you do too.
Thank you.
So what is your advice for someone who is just starting their fitness journey, or someone like me who has fallen off the fitness wagon and are on the struggle bus to get back on?
So I have a lot of female clients, but I have a lot of male clients too. There is nothing like jumpstarting a program by going out and buying yourself something that is related to fitness. So I tell my clients, pick either supplements that they want to take, a new gym bag, new sneakers, new outfit, whatever. Go out and buy that. Set it out, get it ready the night before. So it's the first thing that you wake up and see. Because I will tell you what, it's just like it goes back to our mentalities of being kids going back to school for the year, when we had all those new school clothes and we could not wait to wear them and show them off and rocking it all together. Mm-hmm. That is what I tell everybody to do, because I have not had one single person. Once you spend money, number one, it triggers in your mind like, okay, I have to do this because I just dropped all this money on this. I'm going to be damned if I don't use any of it. So when you do that the night before, you start to get excited because you're like, okay, I'm going to wear this new outfit, or I'm going to take these new supplements, or I'm going to bring this new bag with me. I mean, some of my clients go out and get all of it, which is great for them. Mm-hmm. And the next day they wake up, that's the first thing that they see. That's immediate motivation because they want to wear that or take that or put it on or bring it with them. And then they're off and running. And because it's already set out for them, just like school, when we were little, they hurry up, get up, put it on, and they're like, okay, keep the momentum going. And that's what gets them to the gym.
Well, it looks like I'll need to go shopping later.
See, I'm telling you, once you spend money, your mentality is like, I will be damned if I just spent all that money and I'm not going to use it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Trust me.
Is there a funny story you can share with us? It could be law enforcement or fitness related. Off the top of your head, I hate to put you on the spot, but I really like to hear people's stories and trying to give a little bit more uplifting, fun things on the podcast, because we just spent pretty much 2 months talking about veteran suicide prevention. So we kind of need to liven it up a little bit.
Okay, I will tell you a funny story about law enforcement that defines like my side personality on the job. So I have this really tiny bladder and I go to the bathroom probably, I would say 20 times a day at least. I drink water, it goes right through me. So I'm on this call. We had a supposed barricaded gunman, and I had dealt with him a bunch of times because He is an emotionally disturbed person. He was going through a breakup with his child's mother and, just needed to go talk to the psych doctors because he had some suicidal thoughts. So I knew him. I had a great rapport with him. So I called him up and I was like, hey, this is what we were told. He's like, I'm not home. I'm in Geneva. I'm like, okay. Now, meanwhile, I have myself. And now, first of all, that town I just mentioned is about 2 hours away. But I had myself and we had about 6 other units surrounded his house or his apartment. We looked inside, all the windows, all the doors, everything was locked. Lights were off. It did not appear that he was home. So, okay, around his door, he used to keep a key. This is how I knew him. So I grabbed the key. I'm like, okay, we're going to go in and clear the house. We go in, we clear it. Nobody is there. Okay, so we leave. Sitting out in the parking lot, I have it surrounded because now he agrees to come home. He agrees to turn himself in. I'm going to bring him up so he can talk to a counselor. So we're waiting. I'm in the parking lot. I'm like, Sarge, I really have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no.
And he's like, what are you going to do? He's like, you can't leave. He's on his way back and he's not going to surrender for us. He's only going to surrender for you. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to key in. I'm going to go use his bathroom. And he's like, oh my God, Ashley. He's like, okay, just go do whatever you got to do. Good God. So I get out and go use the key. Now we have, supposedly I have my other units that have this entire place surrounded. So nobody should be getting in or out without us seeing it. I key into his front door. Is this kid not sitting at his dining room table?
Oh my God.
I'm like gun drawn because the shotgun's sitting right there. I'm like gun drawn, pointed at him. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's like, Officer Smith, I'm turning myself in. I'm like, how in the F did you get in here? He's like, I went through the sliding glass door. Your partners aren't paying attention. I'm like, oh my God. So I get him up. I get him cuffed. I bring him there. So now everybody laughs at me because they call me pee pants, because if it wasn't for my tiny little bladder and keying back into his apartment, we would have never, ever got him.
Oh, wow. And did you get to use the bathroom, though? That's what I'm concerned about.
Oh, I had to wait until I got all the way up to the hospital. Yeah, and then I was running in basically like, pee pants, because I was about to pee my damn pants.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible.
So, yeah. And then a funny fitness one. I'm not really sure what to me, funny fitness is. So I am with a couple fitness companies, and one of the fitness companies that I'm with, I am the oldest athlete on their team, to the point where they've nicknamed me the team mother, because I don't drink, I don't party, I don't do anything. I make sure all my girls are set. And they of course, they team me in a hotel room with 2 of the youngest girls there that are completely polar opposites, but they both go out and drink and party. And here I am, like the team mother. I'm like, okay, girls, like I got them dressed. I picked out their outfits for them. We did their makeup, their hair, and I send them out. I guess the funny story for me would be that I'm the oldest, but I can still hang, as in like, I still got a great rocking body. Like everyone still thinks I'm the same age as them, even though one of them's 19 and the other one's 23. But so that's my funny fitness story is, even though I am 31, I am still rocking it with these little 20-year-olds.
You're 31 and they're calling you the gym mom.
Yep. No, they call me the teen mom. I take care of everything because I make sure like they're okay. I sit them down and I'm like, okay, I don't know what club you're going to. I don't know what club you're going to, but you have my number. If you guys need anything, because I stay at the hotel because I'm a loser and I don't go out. So I stay at the hotel and make sure that they're okay.
I hope they appreciate that though.
Oh gosh, they do. My girls are awesome.
That's awesome. Well, Ashley, it's been a pleasure talking to you. How can we find you if someone's interested in training with you or finding out more about your shenanigans?
My shenanigans are posted on Instagram at Officer Ashley Smith, on Facebook at Officer Ashley Smith, on Snapchat, OFC Ashley Smith, and Twitter, OFC Ashley Smith. Officer Ashley Smith. And OFC Ashley Smith.
It's like OMG Ashley Smith will be your next one when you retire, right?
Yes.
And I'll link to all of your various accounts too, so it's just one click away for people who need it a little bit easier.
Awesome. Thank you.
And do you have any closing thoughts or anything else you want to share or talk about before we go?
I would just tell everybody, listen up. We only live one life. So be humble, be happy, love one another, and just be grateful with everything that you have.
I love it. That's why you're amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ashley. It was great talking to you, and congratulations on all of the things you've accomplished and all of the things you're going to accomplish.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. And I hope that you found something that really resonates with you. I can't wait to share even more. So please subscribe to the podcast, and you can find links to our resources in the description and at youroxygenmaskfirst.com.